However, awareness is not enough. What you need is to be able to work through those insecurities. If you are new to my channel, please consider liking this video and also subscribing. I'm trying to grow my channel to at least 1,000 subscribers so I can bring you more videos like this. I want to give you an in-depth reaction and review. All right, let's watch.
But it's really important for him to have his own kids. It's just so deflating when talking about how your future could be, like how you are both so aligned, and then the whole conversation just flipped.
Yeah, it's really hard when people have two different opposing values in life when it comes, especially when it comes to having children. You know, I talked about this in my last review. You now have to take a step back and consider, I like all of these things about this person, except for this one thing. But this is a big thing. My mother used to say to me, in a relationship, when you get with someone, you might have 10 values or 10 qualities that you want, but you'd be lucky to get maybe 7, 8. You're not going to get everything because nobody's perfect. Essentially, that's what she was saying. She wasn't saying settle. But I think having children is a big life decision in that it changes your whole structure and to some degree your identity in life. So it's not one that you could just go like, okay, I'll get pregnant, I'll have kids. But you didn't plan that for yourself. You saw your life completely differently. Not children, maybe dogs, maybe nothing, maybe just traveling the world, maybe just living with your plant babies, or corporate job, just your job being your babies, and then having a man that lives life in a similar way or that has the same kind of value that way. So yeah, it's a hard one. Even I'm sitting here trying to rack my brain. I mean, it's simple, but it's also really hard because they have a connection. I think they're trying to make this connection work because they have really connected on a very profound level in so many different areas. And so to lose it would be very painful on the account of not having wanting to have babies or wanting to have babies. But yeah, they're going to have to really think hard about this. Maybe when that relationship grows, she might change her mind. And that, that's happened before for a lot of people that didn't want children. And then they fall in love and they go like, actually, I think my life is at a point where I can think about having children. But is it going to be too late for her because she's in her 30s now, late 30s? So that is also a concern. Ooh, 1 second. Sorry, technical problems again. All right, let's keep watching.
Sabrina makes me smile. She stimulates my mind so much, and I've always said, if you capture my mind, you've got me. But she's just definitely given me a conundrum. Hello, beautiful. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, scrambled.
I love what he said there, that I've always said that if you capture my mind, you've won me over or something like that. And you know what? I live by that as well. I want somebody to tickle my mind. If you can't make me think, and if you can't allow me to make you think, question you, not in an interrogating way, like I'm judging you or anything like that, that I want to have a conversation with you. I want to hold a real discussion with you about life and even the small things playfully. That banter should be there, but it needs to go to a place where I'm here and you're there, and I have my own ideas and my own thought processes, and you have the same but different, and that's okay. And we can come together and meet each other where we are mentally. And I really, really love that. I love how he thinks. I love these two. And I think they have that. They really genuinely do have that. But it's the baby gate here we're dealing with.
I'm very open to surrogacy, so it would be our biological child or adoption.
I'm here for that.
Oh, I want to hug you.
Why has that been bothering me so much?
I don't know what to think of that and make of that. He really wants to be a dad. I don't know his time frame. She's talking about surrogacy and adoption. And I wonder if they're both settling for something that they both don't want. Is she saying that just so she could keep him? And when she said, I don't have to have children, I want to build a foundation first of our relationship, he said, I can respect that. What does that mean? I'm on board with that. That's also what I want. I want to build a foundation first. I respect the fact that you want to build a foundation first and that you don't have to have children. But I guess, yeah, I suppose she's open to having children. I wonder what she said previously. We might need to go back and watch that. I think she actually said she didn't want to have children, or she didn't see children in her future. And what does that say about her as a mom? You know, is it a life that she really feels called to, and can she do that role of being a mom well? It sounds to me I feel like Sabrina really just wants her independence and her man. Her man's. All right, let's keep watching.
Named after a person who wasn't actually my father and who didn't want to know. I think that's why sometimes I can be quite guarded with men.
You okay?
Yeah.
Take a second if you need to.
Oh, that was a bit hard to watch, but I want to give it to Steve. Is it Steve? He's handled that really well. Yes, it's edited. I don't know how it was chopped up, but the way he just said, take your time if you need to, was very, very, very telling of his character as a person. He's not afraid of emotions, of big feelings. You know, we're talking at the beginning of this series about gender wars. Women say that men are not open to their emotions because we live in a patriarchal world where men don't show emotions, and I think he's handled that really well. And that self-awareness that she has, knowing that maybe the reason why she's been a bit guarded with men and over self-protected and looking for this independence and not self-reliance rather, or being so self-reliant, is because of her father not being in her life. She's aware that her life experience has probably led her to where she is, which she would. You know, that's what psychology tells us anyway. But I'm glad that she's got that awareness. However, awareness is not enough. What you need is to be able to work through those insecurities and those difficulties and those big feelings, that they don't turn into defenses and this protective armor that keeps people away and you become avoidant. Rather, you work on them so that you can actually open yourself up to love again, because that man that was supposed to be your dad left you and said, people leave you, so you're not worthy of love. So you guard yourself, right? You protect yourself and you shut love away. It's good that she's brought herself here and she's allowing Steve to look inside of her. And I think Steve is able to do that because he's in touch with his own emotions and can make her feel safe, which is really beautiful to watch. So girls, boys, find a man, find a woman that can make you feel safe, that can hold space for your big feelings. Yeah. They're not responsible for them. You are. All they need to do is just to hold space while you work on them. Self-awareness is not enough. You need to do more so that you don't bleed on others. You don't affect them by trying to protect yourself against phantom attack. And that phantom attack comes from inside. That's that self-worth that says I'm not good enough. Therefore, I can't trust this person in front of me. Yeah. And then you sting them. Scorpios would know. All right, let's keep watching.
At the time, I just cared about her. And if that was the deal, that she'd survive, but we wouldn't, then that was fine by me.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could give you a hug.
I'm a bit confused here. Firstly, I just want to say that it was the right timing to share something like this after that conversation about, Sabrina's life. So that this feels like a conversation where feels right to bring all those traumatic life events, but they're handling them in a very mature way that it sounds like they have done some work. Sabrina is, showing some awareness of herself, that I know that this is what's probably causing me to be shut off from people. So there is that awareness, which is great. As opposed to somebody who might just say, "Oh, this happened to me. Can you believe my mom did this?" And then, that's somebody who's still living in the trauma and still very much identified with those life experiences, and not have begun making peace with them. Trauma is an interesting one, because as much as we do heal, sometimes depending on how big, how severe it is, and who you are as a person anyway, you could heal it and you would not be triggered. But sometimes when you talk about the experience, you can break down, much like she did. And that was a trigger point for her. She knows that there's that pain where I know that there's a lack here. There's that abandonment that tells me I'm not good enough, but I know I am. I should be good enough. But somebody left my life and essentially saying to me, "You're not good enough." And so that could be triggering. And I'm sure that some of you watching at home could potentially be triggered by this. A lot of us go through abandonment in our lifetime. So basically what I'm saying about Steve is that that was the right time, and he took time to listen to her and then said, "Look, I want to tell you something. Maybe this is the right time to tell you something." So his situation is that he's been with this woman for I don't know how many years, but he was planning to marry this woman, and she was diagnosed with cancer. Spent 8 months taking care of her, I suppose, and being there for her. But eventually the woman said, "Well, we have to break up." How he's spinning it, and I'm not using spin in a malicious way, how he's reframing it. Reframe is a term that we use for an ordeal that's happened, or a difficult situation that you could see it completely negatively, but you could also look at it from a positive side, what you've learned from it and what you could take that will make it work for you rather than against you. And that's part of the healing process, when you can reframe the pain into something empowering. And I think that's what Nicole was talking about in the end. It's made you stronger for it. And I think that's something that she's aware of within herself, that when she has been through a difficult situation, she can reframe things into something more positive. But you have to also be careful with that, because reframing does not mean you bypass, right? You don't bypass. You have to go through the fire and actually get to a point where you have self-awareness, but you also have skills and techniques to protect yourself, to keep adjusting, to get to a place where you are not fully being triggered. So I say this to say that Steve, I don't know his level of reframing, but he's a man who's able to get a little bit deeper into his emotions, or at least see some hold emotions for other people. The bit that confused me was, if it meant her leaving, then I was okay with separating. What does that actually mean? I'm just trying to think. I mean, I can never really know because I was not there, but it could mean a number of things. It could mean that Steve is saying, we had difficulty and my ex wanted me to leave because maybe I was unhealthy. So then I was happy to leave, to not be with her anymore because I was unhealthy for her. Could it be that? Is that what he's saying? Or could it be that he couldn't handle her being ill? Although it doesn't sound like he wanted to end the relationship. So maybe that's not that. But it could also be that I don't know. Do you guys have any idea?
It's defined who I am and my approach today in life, for sure.
You're stronger probably for it. Like, you have a very unique outlook in life, which I really respect and appreciate.
So he's saying that it's defined who he is, who he is and how he approaches things now. Not, what does that mean? Because I think sometimes when people say that, it's like, okay, I've changed gears now. Was he over giving, or was he not giving? And now he's going to do that? It could be any of that. Until we get to know a little bit of Steve, which I'm hoping we will, yeah, that might come to light a little bit. What he meant by that, what that, he comes across as somebody who really wants a relationship. So maybe he didn't give it as much effort that he maybe felt he should have. Now looking back, it's defined the way he moves through life now and the way he approaches things. How did he approach things before? Yeah. Anyway.
You have a very unique outlook in life, which I really respect and appreciate. And honestly, I feel closer to you today.
That's a good sign that you can be vulnerable with someone.
Yeah.
I do wish that, I know maybe this is not the right time because they've spoken so much about difficult, heavy topics, but I wish Sabrina would have asked, if she would have asked a little bit more to find out how that has made him stronger and how he's shifted things. I don't know what else they talked about because, again, it's edited. I'm going to keep repeating that because it is. I wish it wasn't, so we could just watch it like the Truman Show. Yeah, so I wish she would have asked a little bit more. They seem to be connecting more vulnerably, and they both say that it's nice to have that vulnerable connection with somebody. But there's more. You could always go a little bit deeper, especially in the beginning. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that's just me, right? Some people don't like to go that deep, and maybe this is enough for them where they are, and they can really take this and run with it. So yeah, okay.
We're strong. Yeah. Actually went really vulnerable.
Oh, yeah.
It was only natural that I then did because the trust was there.
Yeah.
Connection's real.
Oh, Netflix. I think Netflix heard what I said because it's funny how Steve is talking at Benaya about her being vulnerable and that it was so natural for him to then also be vulnerable, right? So, and they're showing Benaya, and I was saying about Benaya and what's her name, Nicole, that they are talking about all these beautiful good things, but they're not being vulnerable, really vulnerable with each other. So yeah, learn something from Steve Benaya. But as he walked in, I could just tell that he felt fulfilled. That conversation really took him to a place where he wanted to go. It wasn't exhausting. It was just like, yes, this is the person I'm connecting with, and I'm opening myself up to them, and I want to attach to them. There's an attachment that's literally have been fused here. I'm thinking about the movie Inside Out, how they put those little balls into the belief system. So it feels like, like a belief system has just grown between the two of them. There's a nice connection. There's something there that's connected them. Opening up to somebody like that, holding space for them and allowing them to hold space for you and not being afraid. That's what connects people. But with maturity, right? With health, with awareness of the other, with not needing the other person to completely take all of your baggage. Your baggage is your own, and you're actually allowing people to see it. But you're not crumbling in your baggage. If you're crumbling, if you're trauma dumping on people, then you're not ready to be in a relationship. You need to work through that stuff so you can get to a place where you're not constantly being triggered when you talk about it, when you talk about what's happened to you. Instead, you can reframe it, or you have reframed it, and you're able to use it as ammunition for life, as fuel to live life and to connect more with other people. Pain helps us grow, and it helps us connect with ourselves deeply in order to connect with other people's pain as well and hold space for it to make them feel safe. So if you're guarded and you're not connecting with your own pain, you won't be able to recognize the other person's pain and hold space for it as their pain, not yours, to take care of or to fix or to heal. But yeah, allow yourself to feel your own struggles so that you can actually have healthy, meaningful relationships with others.
I feel like I could say anything and he'd back me and like would help me be the best possible version of myself. My logical brain is still a bit like, Sabrina, what are you doing? So like, I don't think I would have ever given him a chance in the real world. Yeah, that's my biggest concern.
Sabrina is talking about her logical brain is still saying, Sabrina, what are you doing? What are you doing, girl? Don't open yourself up to these people. You can't trust them. They've left you before. Somebody's left you. You don't deserve this. This is too good. It's not for you. This does not belong to you, Sabrina. You do not deserve this kind of amazing love where somebody can actually let you be you and feel safe around them. What the heck was that? But yeah, I think that's basically what Sabrina is saying. And it's normal. It's normal to feel that way because it feels safe for her. She can say anything, and Steve is bouncing things back and she feels heard. You know, when you go to a therapist, you talk to a therapist, you leave feeling like you have talked to yourself, you've heard what you've said, and you've gained more awareness of what's going on inside of you because a therapist is holding space for you, right? Is holding that time, that that space is for you to talk about what's happening for you. And I think that's the sort of relationship that she's describing with um with Steve. Steve is able to really sit back and listen and hold space and really hear her and come back with real things that she said, much like a therapist would. Not that their therapist relationship is not the same because that's professional, it's different. But you know, you want somebody that could hold space for you in this way. So, but then she still questions it, like, oh, do I deserve this? I think, you know, that's always going to be the case. If you don't have those insecurities as a human being, regardless of what traumas you've had, and you've healed as much as you can those traumas, you're always going to have some sort of insecurities because we're human. We have to have some anxiety that helps us do live life, that helps us take charge, that help anxiety helps us go for what we want. If without fear, then what are you? You have to have some sort of fears. I think they're gonna be all right. They're gonna be all right. They gonna be all right. Okay, stop it. I guess we're gonna leave it there. I hope you've enjoyed this review. I am doing them quite slow, so bear with me as we just go along and trot along. I don't know how many of these videos are gonna be there, but just join me as we do it. Leave a comment down below if you think I'm way off. As I said, I do not know these people. I'm just looking at a TV show that's being edited and speaking my mind. I do enjoy doing this because I love love and I love relationships. I love helping people work on healthy relationships. Also, guys, I am trying to grow my channel. I don't know how many subscribers I have by now. Hopefully I've grown a little bit. I've only had 200 for some time now. I have not been doing a lot of work on this channel anyway, so I'm really starting to do some more content, and hopefully that will help grow the channel anyway. So please consider subscribing and helping me grow, because I want to keep doing some more videos like this. And yeah, I'll be very forever grateful if you did subscribe. Thank you. Like and share as well, and I will see you in my next review. Love and light to you. Mwah. Bye.